go ahead and call the meeting to order. Has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes from the R&R hearing, the budget hearing, and the regular council meeting? I did have a couple of corrections for Leanne that I sent her this afternoon. Now, is there a motion to approve? Moved by Bud.
Okay.
Second by Justin. All in favor?
Yep.
Okay. No sheriff report. New business. Cindy, you're up.
Question, does the city have any sort of policy or on the illegal non-citizen migrants that are moving in? Is there anything?
Do we have some?
I don't know. You guys tell us.
Are you seeing some issues?
Do we have illegals living in St. Francis?
Probably.
Yeah, we can't get a yes or a no, and I figured this would be the place to find out.
Not that we know. I don't know. We haven't been told of anything. The
Well,
sheriff
I've
hasn't told us
heard
anything.
some things,
I've
but
heard
actually
some
being able to
things.
verify it, I don't know.
There
We
was-
have discussed
Does the
this.
sheriff ever come to these meetings?
once.
Well, then how would you know?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
do they
he
have
needs-
the authority to find out?
He needs to be in attendance, and then
Yeah.
maybe you'd know. And because I mean, the stories are going rampant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I was walking to the post office today, in front of Bank West. I saw this car. It didn't look much like a car. Very good shape. So as I walk across the street, I could see in the windows is the front seat and the back seat's full of trash. The car license plate expired in it was 2022.
Did you call it in?
I had no, I didn't, but I was should have. But I can
Call
still
it all
call it
in.
in. I'm
That's
sure
all we
still
can
around
do.
town.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to call that
No, I
in.
just caught me off guard.
Yeah.
I'm sure not. I don't think they're in the bank. Maybe they're getting a loan to buy a new car. I don't know. I'll tell you what. And I hadn't seen that car before.
Yeah.
Is there anything you can do as a city if we get an influx of?
We've
I think
talked
it is.
about it, and this has been several months ago, probably back in the spring. Thomas County, and I believe Wallace County, Sherman County had talked about it, and I think there was a fourth county. Thomas
Yeah.
County had passed a resolution, and Wallace County did a proclamation. And that was basically stating if the federal government moves refugees in, that this county wouldn't allow the federal government to move it in. I don't know what you do about individuals themselves coming here.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's any other counties or towns that have done anything. We could sure have Leanne put something out on the clerk link and see if there's other cities that have.
Well, we don't have large amounts of vacant properties for them to move into, but it just takes one. So I guess I would be in. That would be a suggestion, I guess.
I think we'd have to look into the legal standing on some of
Yeah, I
it
don't know
too.
what that is.
And as far as
Are people
migrant,
renting them, or are they? Do you know?
I don't know.
I thought.
I just got a phone call the other day that wanted to know that they had heard I had sold a house to some Venezuelan. It's to me, but that's what they heard. So
Well, I'm with you guys. I mean, I've heard a lot of the rumors too. I just haven't. I guess I really haven't seen evidence of it yet. It is something we need to be mindful of.
I just didn't know if there's anything we can do before that gets to
Yes.
that point. I don't know.
but I mean, when you're talking illegal migrant workers, you're talking. I mean, what exactly are you talking? Because I mean, you could get into.
Not the ones who are roughing the houses. That's not what we're talking about, or any of those people. They're not afraid.
We're
of
talking
working.
more refugee type.
Yeah, they're not
Yeah.
citizen.
Kind of the one-
Venezuelan,
I can't tell you.
Or vagrants. They're just, who knows, passing through, living at the park
Well, either
for a
way,
few weeks.
they're illegal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have no rights. They're not
That's the right
citizens.
word.
Yeah.
It's a good word.
Yeah. That's something we need to talk to Cody about. Definitely have a
Do you
conversation.
think we could get him here the next meeting?
He was supposed to be here this meeting.
No, he's in Wichita for a minute. He's out this week. He can be here at the next meeting.
Yeah, I was
Couldn't we
gonna
just
say,
come
'cause
up
he
with our own
had-
resolution?
We could, but I mean,
Yeah.
And I don't know how it stands up. I mean, just
Yeah.
like
Yeah, we'd have
Aurora
to-
out there, they're
see
saying,
how it's
we are
worded.
not a sanctuary city.
Right.
Aurora isn't, but they can't get them out. They've taken over.
Unless they do something illegal, there's nothing we can do.
yeah,
They are
how you
illegal.
stop him from.
Yeah, but it's not the city's job to enforce federal or state law. That's the county's job or the state's job. I mean, that's the attorney general or the county attorney. I get what you're saying as far as that goes and as far as a resolution, but I don't know. I mean, if the underlying premise is that they're violating federal law by being here, I don't know that the city has the standing to be enforcing that federal law.
Why can't they? They just say, move on.
That has been done in the past, but it's usually, as I think one of them pointed out, the tags were expired, things like this. The sheriff has to get out
Yeah.
there and say,
Does it have to be the sheriff that attends, or can it be a deputy?
Well,
He
yeah.
can be a
He
deputy,
can be
yeah.
law enforcement.
Because I stopped a deputy 2 months ago. I just asked him if there were illegals living at this address, and he said yes. And if you go to that residence, there's multiple vehicles sitting in the yard, and 2 of the 3 are not licensed front or back. They've been there for
this is where you need to go and make the phone call to the sheriff's department so that it's on record.
Well, I have done that in the past and asked why they haven't given out citations for expired tags. I went to every time I renew tags, the girls can verify that I'm on a roll, which was today, but I didn't go in the office today. But anyway, the reasoning for not doing that is they say that there's not enough of the citation amount or the ticket that they would keep in the county. Out of $120 some dollar ticket, he said that they would only keep like $8 here. I don't know if that's true or not, but they said it wasn't worth their time. Well, about 5 years ago, I had when I get my notices in the mail, I just put a notebook in my seat of my vehicle, and as I'm driving around town, not stocking things, I just write down the tag numbers. I had 3 columns on a letter-sized paper in a 30-day period, but it
Whoa.
wasn't impressive enough, I guess. But $8 times that many,
It's still an
pays
issue.
somebody's wages for a day.
Well,
Yeah, it's still an issue.
law enforcement shouldn't be a money-making. Money-making shouldn't be the make or break it point on
Exactly.
enforcing law.
Now, the city cleanup of the vehicles out of the alleys, that has gotten better, I will say that. So there are some of them are locals that have lived here for a long time, so.
And we did that, has that been 2 years ago?
What?
With the vehicles,
I think
when
it
we
was
sent
2
letters out. I mean, that's something we could address with the vehicles sitting
That
in the
did
yard
get
with
some
no
attention to
tags.
some.
You know, we just did that. We went through that, and maybe that's an issue we could address. I don't know what the council's thoughts are on that.
Well, that would,
Can't hurt.
yeah, it would help a few things, but the other problem is we need to get law enforcement to do something. If this becomes a problem.
Why wait until it comes? Well,
Yeah.
I
People
got
don't have
a
to
problem in a lot
anything.
of little cities.
Yeah. Yeah, we should be prepared if something does come up.
I mean, 40,000 people in Denver just influxed in there.
Yeah.
They're $180 million in deficit, so
Yeah.
don't take too long just to
Yeah.
talk to the people.
Wipe out
Yeah.
local services. Yeah.
Do you know Burlington has had people?
Yep. That's right.
Well, we will get Cody here at the next meeting, and I'll visit with him. And
Can you guys come to that one too? Next month?
I don't know. Can you look into the proclamations or whatever
I've seen Thomas County and Wallace County. I've not been able to get my hands on that one, and I don't know if the other two counties.
Do we have a copy of the Thomas County?
It was
Yes.
put on the shared drive a while ago. Has the county? I guess has this been addressed with the county? Have you addressed this with the county? Because the other proclamations came from the counties, not the cities. Which I mean, it's not that the city couldn't inherently
Right.
do that, but I mean, I would think that that would be something desirable
Yeah.
at the county level.
Yeah.
But
It would be.
Commissioners?
I mean, I mean, that's the issue. I mean, there was an issue of a property, and as you were on 36 coming into town, and it's outside city jurisdiction, so it's not anything that we would be able to address. And so, I mean, the jurisdiction of the city stops at the city limits, and so that doesn't address anything 2 feet on the other side of the city
Right.
limit.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this has been brought to the commissioners.
I think that they had brought up like the Thomas County resolution, and that's been
Did they?
April, May. I think
Yeah,
when that
6
came
months
around,
ago.
it's been.
Well, this
yeah.
was actually dated the 21st day of January, 24.
Okay,
That's
but
Thomas.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
That's
when-
Thomas County's,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Thomas County.
Yeah, but I don't know. Did the commissioners?
They
discuss-
discussed it, I believe.
They did, and they decided they declined to.
do anything. I can check and see when that.
So if we would approach the commissioners as well, maybe,
I think it was brought up, but whether or
Yeah.
not the public brought it up, I don't know.
Definitely wouldn't be a bad idea, Betty.
when is your next meeting here?
And work with the cities.
Second Monday of next month.
What's that? It'll be a Tuesday.
Oh, is it a holiday that Monday?
But I think if we come together,
We can do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
can
don't
come
have
up
to.
with something.
Yeah,
I think that
Well,
would
we
be
would like
more
to see something for our county towns.
yeah. I think.
that we're more proactive
Yeah.
in trying to get this done.
Yeah.
If the two work together, I guess.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
got Bird City, so maybe deal.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, the whole county should have something.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So, yep, we'll look into it and we'll bring it up at the
Perfect.
next meeting.
Thank you.
Yep. You guys have anything else?
And be sure to call in those things to the dispatch.
Yes.
Definitely.
I'll probably see that car from the nights out.
Probably.
What time of day was it?
Called every time. Oh, they would be so sick of listening.
But that's the thing is that we can't approach them and say we had all these calls and you haven't done X if they don't have all these calls. We can't initiate the council and the city can't initiate action on their behalf. They have to respond through the proper channels so that way it goes through the correct due process requirements so that way it holds up in court if it eventually goes to court. And so I know you would probably might make them sick of you calling in, but if that's what it's going to take to get them to do it, then that's what has got to happen to have them do it, because we can't have these things getting thrown out for not following the due process requirements. I mean, we don't, at the point they're coming to me, we need to make sure they've gone to the proper channels so that way, they're not, like I said, they're not getting thrown out of court. Because if due process is violated, the case will get thrown out.
Alrighty. Yep. We will do some checking and we'll talk about next meeting. Building permits.
Thanks, guys.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
We got some?
In addition to the garage and the front porch. Rio Tooth Woody here is wanting to put in one metal fence, so you guys will have to approve that. Row 6 objects, or East Jackson wants metal fence. cover over his porch, which I guess he used to have one.
Who?
Dave Warren. Never said he's out. We haven't measured that one yet, so if we approve it, we'll get the measure first. We can approve it contingent to that.
Any problems?
Warren did up how close it's gonna be to the build line, but too much, just a foot over his porch shouldn't matter, but if you look down through the regular build line, they'll do this.
Mm-hmm.
So,
What about,
and he used to have one, because I had Amanda look it up, she said they had it listed that way, what, 19? Something like
I don't remember. It was back 15, 16. They had a covered porch, and I don't know when we changed it in our records. So it was there at
that.
some
He
point.
said it was 10 years ago at least that they tore it off.
Yeah.
is the pro panel all going to be painted?
Propane will be the same color as his roof is now. And the pro panel for the two fences will be
And
covered.
any issues with any of them?
You're okay?
Moved by Kale,
Second.
second by Larry. All in favor? Okay.
While we're on building permits, we had a brief discussion a while back, and I know after we had the discussion, contractor came in and complained that they want me to be able to approve the permits. But the ordinance specifically says you guys have to approve them about fences, so that puts me in a pretty tough spot. If I sign off a permit and then you guys decide they can't have it, make them tear it out.
Hasn't it been kind of a joint decision that as long as it's painted and nice?
Not necessarily, I mean, you guys have got to approve it, so one of you guys would have to do is have a complaint about it and get the other 3 to go with it. When I've already told them they can do it and you tell them they can't. That just puts me in a bad spot. So according to the ordinance, you guys actually approved permits, which is what we tried to go to a while back, and then contractors came in and threw a fit, and you guys backed up. So I guess I need to know where you guys want to stand on that. So
Well, I think you know
Yeah.
what has to be, I guess, approved, right? Pretty much.
I mean, if the ordinance says we approve it, if there's any question, I don't know why waiting to a meeting for us to approve it before they get billed.
Right.
I don't know that that's an issue, is it?
If it's something outside of the ordinance, then bring it here and
If it,
otherwise.
I mean,
it's-
if the ordinance states that we approve it, then I think it needs to come, if there's any reasonable question, you know. I don't see an issue with waiting till we approve.
well, like the approved fence, you know,
The propane, yeah.
I've talked about it before.
But the ordinance states that it's
Got to be approved by the council.
it's material that's not approved, like we have to approve it case by case. I don't think that's wrong, that it has to come to us to approve it prior to them building.
That's why I didn't sign any of them yet, because if I sign them and then you guys decide not to do it, then it puts me in a bad
Oh.
spot. So
Anybody have a problem with that?
No.
No? Okay.
So are we doing it just on the fences, or do you want to do it on all permits? That's my question.
No.
I mean,
I think, what do you think? Anything questionable with ordinance wise?
Yeah,
You'd
if
have
you
to
got
bring
a
it up.
question on something, bring it. to
Well, I'm
Yeah.
going to.
But if
Yeah.
it's not
that's already
all within
given.
ordinance, why would we have to? Why would they have to wait?
I mean, we defer to you most of the time anyway.
Right.
mhm.
If you're uncomfortable with it, bring it to the council.
Well, and I don't see, I mean, they have to know that if they build before getting a building permit, even if we don't agree with it, they're gonna have to tear it down.
See, and the way you're saying that, that means until it's approved by you guys, it's not a building permit. So I should
Correct.
not be signing anything until it's approved
I
by
mean,
you guys.
is that not what the ordinance states, that it's approved by the council? I would say they're not.
So you're having people that just think you ought to be able to sign off on
Here, I mean, here's the thing: is that the city superintendent's signature is up here, and whether or not it's approved is down here.
But the ordinance states it has to be approved at the council.
Right, right. But what I'm saying is that if someone is relying on his signature, it still has very clearly whether it has been approved or not approved by the council and the date. I mean, it's very clear on the face of the application that even if Dan signs off on it, it still has to go for council approval. So I would.
The only thing I see about that is he goes by and looks at it and approves. He knows what the ordinances are and what the products are. So he signs it saying that it looks okay to him, then he brings it to us. And so we're going by what he knows about the city.
Yeah.
And unless there's something questionable, it should be approved.
I'm just asking because a lot of contractors walk in 2 days
They're
before
ready
they
to
want to
go.
build, or the day they want to build.
And I mean,
Or
I
the
feel
day
like if
after
it's
they
something
build.
that has to be approved, yeah.
It still needs to wait and go to the council.
Anybody else have?
So I think that's what we need to tell our contractors, but that's exactly what Enrique came in here and complained about. You guys told him we would do it different. So I'm trying to get it clarified one way or the other. If it needs to go to council, then we need to tell our contractors
You
it
could
needs to go to
sign, you could
council.
sign off on it and say you believe
Right.
that it's okay.
Right, I
But
understand
it's still
that.
not official until the council approves it.
Well, then that's what we need to tell
So
our
if they
contractors.
start on it and we don't approve it, they come down. If we approve it, then fine.
Do you guys want to add a note on here?
That's what I was going to say. Is that superintendent's signature states that superintendent believes it is. Superintendent believes this project will be compliant. Permit is not approved until it has received a vote by the council. I mean,
I'm just saying we need to tell our contractor, because I would be upset if I was a contractor.
right.
Most of the time, they've already built it by the time they give it to you. don't they?
Well, no, there's a few that do that, but most of the time, 2 days after or a day after, or 10 minutes after they start on the project, and
I mean, they're
because
gonna
I
take that
signed that
risk.
they think it's good to go.
They're going to take the risk to build him there because they want to pay. So, but it's still, we don't like it, then there's always a possibility.
Well, that 2 weeks that we had before Enrique came in, everybody was worried about getting here by a council meeting with the permits. So then after you guys told Enrique we'd change it, then everybody went back to, oh, I need this approved so I can start this afternoon. It's like, so I'm just trying to figure out. I just had some conversations with council people and stuff that say it needs to be approved by the council first, or you guys can make them tear it down. And I don't want to give them the approved thing they can make go build their building. Then you guys tell them tear it down. And so if they need to go through approval of the council first, we can tell the contractors it has to
Has to
be
wait then.
till that meeting, and then we'll let them know that Tuesday or whatever.
Your signature is just saying that you went and looked at the project and saying that.
Right,
you
we just need to
believe
probably put that on there, though, like she said, have a note on there that says that, so they don't think they can go build it 2 days and they're good to go.
For build permit. Okay, everybody all right with that?
Do they pay the permit when they get that, or when they sign it, or when we approve it?
They pay it when they get it. Once it's,
Once they receive that, or once it's
They
signed
pay
off?
with the
When they fill it
application.
out.
Yeah.
When they
Yeah.
turn it in, they have
Yeah.
to turn in the fee also.
Is that it on permits then, Dan?
that's all I got. Yeah.
Okay. Old business, previous meeting.
Any news on the street sweeper?
No. Well, I got news, but
Oh,
I'll talk to you
your part?
at my part.
Okay. Right. Do we have anything under previous meeting that we need to?
Don't we have just the sidewalk thing, right?
State statute says that cities can adopt the plans by ordinance, and the plans need to be kept on file in the city office. So we're kind of at a, I mean, the city has,
And I asked my mom, and she thought there was something. And
it also says that it can be held by the city engineer's office. I know that we don't have one here, but we've always used Miller and Associates, right, as the engineers for the city.
But that's just been recent. I don't know that they would have anything.
You mean like a plat or plot?
Like
whatever
the
you call
city
it?
plan as far as specs of what's.
I think that pretty much went out the window because people moved their,
Yeah.
if they want one, they moved it. If they
Yeah.
don't, they.
Well, there's nothing that says you have to do it either. So
But see, Mom thought that there was, and she went back through the ordinance, and she wonders if at some point recodifying if that's something that got taken out. 'Cause
There
there's
was, well,
nothing in
the
there
ordinances,
about
the ordinances address the city plan though.
But as far as the sidewalk, she thought there was something in there about, like you had to get approval to tear it out, and you had to replace it. But there's nothing in there.
When the streets were approved to do the tear out gutter and the sidewalk, did the homeowner get charged with the sidewalk to get replaced with the gutter when they went through all the other streets?
I don't know how much sidewalk was done. It was just clipping.
I think it was just curb and gutter, wasn't it?
I don't think we did any sidewalk.
Yeah, I don't think we did sidewalk, it was just curb and gutter.
All I have on file is curb and gutter.
Yeah. I don't remember any sidewalk.
We're still talking about the property
I didn't hear
tear-ups.
about that. Mm-hmm.
So all those people that are on the streets could just not have a sidewalk and then they wouldn't have to worry about it, right? For the streets, if they replace the street, sidewalks finally next to the gutter, and they're complaining about their gutter or their sidewalk being ruined by the gutter or the street or whatever, they could just choose not to have one.
See, that's where,
Probably.
that's why we're
Yeah,
here,
that's why.
because
Yeah.
it seems that there would be something that, if it's, you know, there's an established
If you had a mail
sidewalk, you
person, I
have
mean, you'd have to have
a sidewalk.
a sidewalk. That's,
Well, and that's what just being close to parks and the school having taken that sidewalk out
mhm.
would be my concern. But then again,
I mean,
Because there is an adjoining sidewalk on down, right? Or not? Or is there an alley?
there's an alley.
There's an alley.
There's an alley.
And then,
So, because the ordinance does
There
specify
there
about
is-
adjoining,
There's
But
a
they're at-
sidewalk on Kelly Hills.
but it'd
yeah.
be across the
But
alley.
there was
Right.
the
So it
gutter
wouldn't be adjoining.
that joined,
Really?
originally that gutter joined the sidewalks together as a sidewalk when you walk across there.
Mm-hmm. The gutter.
You talking about in the alley?
I think at one time there was maybe, because, yeah, I think there was, because I used to live out there and there was always a hole right there. So,
I don't know.
that's why a lot of alleys are.
yeah,
where you lived on the north side of that block, right?
yeah,
There's a section there with no sidewalk. Also,
yeah. But that wasn't there when I went there. But the town must have had a plan because every place had a sidewalk.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I think that's the real question is
There's already one there, that's.
there
Yeah,
was
There
one.
was.
There
What?
was.
Tore it out,
Oh, we
yeah.
tore it out.
Yeah.
but is it a requirement that you have to have a sidewalk? It's not.
It doesn't seem like it.
We can't find anything. That's where we thought that there was.
The problem is that if we had a plan and the plan said there was supposed to be a sidewalk there, then there would be a requirement for a sidewalk. But we don't have the plan, so we don't know what the plan says.
Right.
If I was to walk in the street and get ran over because there was no sidewalk, I mean, who's liable for that? Or if I fall on the sidewalk and get hurt, it's the homeowners, usually. So.
But if you put the grass in, you have a soft landing.
I'm just saying. But don't complain when you walk on the grass.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess at this point,
I can keep
We can-
looking in
yeah.
the archives. I still have 2 rooms to look through.
look through. Okay.
Everything in the ordinances says construct, reconstruct, or repair any sidewalk. I would think that
But I guess if we built a house inside, I don't want to have sidewalks. I don't know.
But at the point that it's already there,
It's already
and it's already been
existing.
established, I don't know that he has the right to destroy the sidewalk.
It was
It was already destroyed.
That's
Trees.
why I took it out. It was destroyed.
It was unsafe.
There is
Yeah.
something in there about if it's damaged.
If it's damaged, it has to be it has to be repaired or
Yeah.
replaced. When any sidewalk, in the opinion of the governing body, become inadequate or unsafe for travel thereon, the governing body may adopt a resolution condemning such sidewalk, providing for the construction of a new walk in the place of the walk condemned. So if it's not up to, if it's considered to be unsafe, it has to be reconstructed.
So haven't we approved other sidewalks? Moved them, did something to them, didn't have them?
That moved them, yeah.
Moved it, yeah.
Which like I said, I think that would be okay to approve him to move it to the curb instead of the 3 foot in. But as far as just not redoing it since it's established, I don't know
I
if
think
we want to.
right. The ordinance provides for when it is unsafe, if it's going to be removed, it has to be replaced. If the city is agreeable to relocating it, I think that's fine, but I think a plain reading of the ordinance says that it would need to go back in.
Okay.
So, I know, but if we had to replace the street and then the curb and gutter there, are we required then to replace that sidewalk?
If he butts up against it?
Yes. If a street has to get torn out, curb and gutter, are we requiring that homeowner to replace that sidewalk as well?
Does the
It's
sidewalk
already
get-
there, that's what it says.
Yeah.
Does the sidewalk get torn out with the curb and gutter?
No, it shouldn't.
But will it get
Depends
damaged?
how careful they are.
One's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole
You
different
could
area.
argue,
Is there
did the
down
gutter
hook on either
cause
side?
the sidewalk to be damaged, or was it?
Or does
That
it
part of
match?
it-
But that's,
Because it's all one,
Match
it's
with
all
any
one
other
thing, it's all one
sidewalk?
port.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it
one.
matches with that
It did.
sidewalk.
Yeah. It did.
but
Yeah.
this wouldn't be all one.
No, I'm just saying in future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
But
curb and
didn't,
gutter's homeowner's responsibility.
didn't he say if he was gonna put it back in that he wanted to go up against the curb?
Which I think we can approve that.
Yeah.
And then
If
it's
he had
back-
to, he wanted to put it against.
Back
the
to
curb.
Justin's question, if something happens to our curb and gutter, are we responsible for the sidewalk?
The curb and
Should
gutter's
be.
the
Is that what you're asking?
Yes,
The
If it
homeowner's
gets damaged.
responsible for the curb and gutter.
if we have to tear out the curb and gutter and it gets damaged.
If the sidewalk gets damaged while doing that.
Have him, if he wants to move it to this, if he wants to move it to the street, have him sign a permit, and we say that in the event that this happens, because he is putting it not where the plan originally had it laid, he is responsible for any and all costs associated with because it wouldn't be damaged, but for his desire to move it. If we make him put it back where it is, it's not going to get damaged by the curb and gutter. If he wants to put it there, he's assuming the liability. I would suggest that. I mean, we're not at risk of damaging it, but for his desire to
But
put
that
it.
one's already been replaced, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why it's any different, I mean, there's sidewalks all over next to the curb and gutter, I mean. I'm sure we.
Lauren, does that ordinance say what's it say about the city provide the plans? Or does the city say, or what's it say about the shall provide? Or something about that.
It says that if the street has been graded, then the city has to provide the grade, what the grade is, because the sidewalks have to match. It's state statute that the sidewalks have to match the grade of the street.
Yeah.
And so if the street has been graded, then then the city has to provide what that grade is, so that way they can do it in accordance with the street. If it has not been graded, then they're permitted to do it with the natural slope of the.
What was the part about if it's damaged, it shall be replaced,
constructed.
et cetera?
Yeah.
Condemnation when any sidewalk in the opinion of the governing body become inadequate or unsafe for travel thereon, the governing body may adopt a resolution condemning such sidewalk and providing for the construction of a new walk in the place of the walk condemned.
Providing for the construction? Who's providing? That was my question.
The owner's response. So the city may do it. There's a notice period. There's a due process requirement and a notice period. The city may do so and then assess it against the property owner, because the sidewalk is not. The sidewalk is a sidewalk on a property is the owner's responsibility. And so if the city says, "Hey, your sidewalk is unsafe. We're demanding you do this." If they don't, the city can step in and do that, and then assess it against the lot, and it gets collected with the taxes.
So basically, have them do a building permit and request to move the sidewalk to the curb, and the city can approve that. Is that where we're at, everybody?
Yeah.
Sounds
Okay. There's your answer. Property cleanup.
I don't have a list.
Project spending. Anybody have anything on project spending?
My computer's quit working now.
No, I don't think it is.
I guess I got it down.
Is the beautification committee going to be meeting someday?
When would you like to meet, Justin?
Whenever you want.
Okay.
Tonight. For a meeting would be good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll get on that one. Because it would be.
No news on KDOT, I assume.
No, I talked to Michael today, but
What about, speaking of that KDOT, can we not spray the seedling trees that are coming around the corner on my River Street? All the trees in the ditch.
In the ditch.
they're by Wade.
By Wade.
Yeah. I will.
So come down, whatever.
Or
We should.
I'll reach out to Michael and see if we can do something on that.
Before it becomes a forest.
Yeah.
Does that go back to, is that their property?
Yep.
Yep.
It is.
it is.
Because we ran into the same thing across the street
Well,
from
about
there.
half of it's theirs. Once you get around the corner a little bit, then it's ours.
You can see the image marker.
The marker's still up there in the ditch, or
Yeah, all I'm getting at is we ran into the same problem across the street and then across Caddy Corner and Western Auction with that ditch.
ditch, yeah.
And I thought we were told we couldn't do anything about it.
Who mowed your ditch? Betty, do you remember that?
That mowed the ditch?
When we had the trees,
Well, they asked me to mow further over past the right of way, so I told them I'd go as far as I felt comfortable because I'd never ridden that wiggly mower before, and I didn't want to turn it over. So, but I've been going
so you've been mowing.
up to the ditch. Now they did last week, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago. They went along the highway side, but they did chop out those trees, but they're back.
They did?
Mhm. They said that was a state thing, I think.
Okay.
But my location is different than just to the east.
Yeah.
They have no they told me they didn't have any jurisdiction east.
Why is that?
I don't know. I just assumed it's because of the line, but they said they had to. I don't know that they really wanted to take out the trees, but they did it one day before I got to the office. I wondered where they went, but I had trimmed out some of them, and then we trimmed some off, and then put that. Well, we painted on that gunk it's supposed to kill them, which I don't know that it worked. But anyway, they came out and chopped some of them out of there somehow. Or I guess it was the state. I didn't see it happen, so but I assumed it was the state. But they said where they mow from evidently the intersection west. I don't know. They said that was theirs.
City limits, which doesn't make any sense.
What?
It's inside city limits, which doesn't make any sense that they would know that.
True. But it's still in their right of way.
So is the stuff in town, but that's what I'm like. It doesn't make any sense that they mow however many
Well,
into
yeah,
town and then they
we're
stop.
right back with what we've been fighting for
Yeah.
10 years.
Yeah, they mow along the side. They mow along the highway east, though, just with their mower. I don't know what the difference is. I feel
Yeah.
like
I guess I'll check and see if we can do something with the trees. So. Street project.
Chip sealing for this year's done. And you'll notice River went too far. That's because we didn't catch him before he got woed. So we actually did state, part of the state, so.
On the south end?
So maybe in exchange they can take care of some trees.
We didn't catch him and tell him that before he was already there. So.
Oops.
It is much better though.
You got a lot more done than we had anticipated
Yeah.
too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this just gears us up for next year and
Yeah.
be able to jump hard into it again.
What does he recommend as part of redoing those, like every 7 years? When chip seal again?
5 to 7, yeah.
I just wonder if we could start putting things on rotation, as needed.
Did he say East Spencer has to be taken down?
We might be able to chip part of East Spencer, or we're gonna have to go in there and do a lot of. We're gonna have to dig that one end out up close to your house, all the way to the school. We're gonna have to dig that out, put something in
I
there.
didn't know. That's people were asking. So
That's why we couldn't do it, because it was just we didn't have the manpower to get it done in the time they were allotted to when they were gonna get back here. So
And you're not 100% sure just going in there trying to chip seal it would hold anyway, right?
not 100%. It'd probably be better to like grind it up and put it back down and then chip it if that's how we want to do it.
Kind of like they did up here.
Would that work up in Sunny Hill to grind it up where those are so bad?
Well, that's what we did on that one
The
street.
one over,
there.
yeah, on
Jackson.
Whittier.
Do it on Jackson.
No, we didn't mill Jackson. We milled.
No, I mean, could we do it there too?
The problem is still the gutters. Still,
The gutters,
Yeah.
yeah.
there's one on that one end going north and south that's just caved in.
So east of college, we chipped Jackson
Yeah.
this time. We got it all patched up, chipped. So we'll see how it turns out. Beginning of summer.
Yeah.
A lot of them depend on the winter.
Yeah.
Well, it's made a big difference with what's been done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We just need to stay on top of it.
Yeah. Pool report? Nothing?
There's no water.
It's empty.
There's no water,
When's it
yeah.
gonna get painted?
Theater report, I think we're gonna have
When's it going to get painted?
Yeah.
Still waiting to hear, aren't we?
I haven't called anybody on that. We need to sit down and figure out where the money's coming from.
Yeah,
Again,
because
that's-
he's not going to live up to his end of things.
What was the estimate? Like 40?
around 50.
50,000?
45 to 50.
And when would they do that?
Midnight, 2 a.m.
When would they do that?
Well, we're getting close to running out of time for this year. It'd have to be,
April?
well, that'd be after frost basically, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Early May.
By the
You
time
got
you fill
a
it up.
little bit of time for that stuff to set up too.
Yeah.
I think that's what, I mean, during budget workshop, we need to be talking about pool painting and where we're putting the money and getting the money out of. Cause I don't know where you're gonna just slide 50 grand out of. But
It was on the wish list.
it was,
For
It was a Christmas
100,000.
party.
So
Yeah.
it's covered.
not this year though. Not this coming
See you
year,
guys.
but
See you,
another
Dom.
year.
Thank you.
Right. 25, I thought you said. So,
I think it's in there for 25 for next year.
For 100,000?
Uh-huh.
I don't remember.
Was that in part of
how was
the
it?
transfers?
Look at 26th.
Couldn't we do a capital improvement?
I was confused. I'm lost.
So you can do, I mean, you have to be very conservative. Because the transfers, you know, we budget those, but if you have something big happen in the year, you're going to not be able to transfer as much if you have something happen. But you can, if it's a 2025 budgeted transfer, you can transfer it anytime in 2025. We've always been pretty conservative, waiting until the end of the year to make sure that we have enough budget authority and cash left. That is something to consider on that.
I know it needs done, but is it absolutely critical at this point? Do you have any idea? Justin said anything? Maybe I need to go up there and look at it again more of that.
I mean, Justin talks like there's still paint underneath it that's holding, but then Kelly said there wasn't, so.
Yeah. I'll make a point to go up there and take a look, a closer look.
Okay. Theater report.
Looks like they hired a new employee, Ashley Barnhart. And Sunday, September 9th, the St. Francis Community Church, their Faith and Action Group, would like to steam clean the theater seats. So the theater would have to be closed for the matinee showing on the 29th of September. But they go around and do those community projects. And so I guess if the council's all
Everybody okay
good with that?
Sure.
Okay. Your motion to accept and file the theater report.
So,
Moved by Gail,
Second.
second by Justin, all in favor? Okay. Superintendent report.
So just so you guys know, I agreed to sell the church rock for the parking lot for one of the cheap savings, so I'll get on bill. Sweeper. I have a newer sweeper. Sweeper. I think this is the picture of the top. I'll keep this top page for a minute. Right now, this particular sweeper is on Purple Wave. It sells tomorrow morning. It's something around $4,700. That being said,
It's not gonna bring that though, is it? It won't bring that.
I bet we might get it if we put 20 on it. We might get it.
Where's it at? From?
Tell me. You know.
Go ahead.
North Dakota?
North
Yes.
Dakota?
Oh.
No, it's in South Dakota.
Oh, yeah, that's right. A little bit closer.
Yeah.
On the salt.
Were you ever able to talk to anybody about it? In person, I mean, on the phone or something?
This one?
Yeah.
I didn't get to talk to the guy that they leave a number for and never answers his phone, but I talked to the salesman for them sweepers for this area. He knows the rep for this area. The rep talked to him and he said so. They just didn't choose to trade it in when they bought their new one. They chose to sell it outright. Now he's saying if you get a decent price, if you want a top-notch machine when it's done like brand new, put 25 grand in it and you'll have like a brand new machine if you want to spend the money. The only reason I'm looking at this is because it does have a John Deere engine in it, so John Deere should be able to work on that if we needed it. And it's what, 16 years newer than the one we got sitting out there?
When you said new,
And these
I was
hours
like,
are, I mean, I don't know what an hours.
Our hours, well, let's see, our hours are, I have it here somewhere.
rates?
So ours were 26.92, so it's
Yeah.
got a few
Comparable.
more hours.
Parts and everything,
What's that?
you can still get parts and everything for this unit?
Actually, Johnson Global bought Johnson out,
Okay.
so it's the same, basically the same company that we're sticking to it now. But
Do we
I
know-
did,
Go ahead,
I
sorry.
did question him about a new sweeper. He has a demo he'd sell us for $240,000.
Oh, that's all?
You want a new sweeper? You're looking at almost $300,000.
Yeah.
That be a transfer.
So
We had a dumb question. Can we, with a sweeper, can we recoup some of the rocks that are, all the extra rock that's kind of everywhere? Okay. Still use it.
you can't really use it for chip seal, but we could use it for
We
alley.
could use it somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's what I was doing until it finally quit.
Wish you had a cleaner, you don't have rocks.
Yeah, well, and you can watch like last year, it's rock sitting on the ground.
Mhm.
But once it's been put in the oil, they don't like to reuse it. I suppose if you had some industrial type cleaner, maybe. But
So,
so, and then I did get an estimate. The estimate I got from Purple Wave was $26.90 to have that hauled here, that sweeper. I don't know if you guys want to go that way. The other thing is, I can get our sweeper hauled to Garden City, probably for little to nothing, because the salesman told me he'd do it. Haven't looked at, but I bet we're gonna be about 10 to 20 grand in debt.
Our old one.
Mm-hmm.
seems like we're trying to get this one.
Yeah, and fix our old one. Yeah. Should.
What do you think this one will go for?
I have no. I mean, I think you guys would put a bid of 20 on it and just see what happens. If we get it, we get it. We don't, we send our old one to Garden City and
Yeah.
get it redone.
This is at what now? Did you?
Huh?
What's it at right now?
4,700.
47.
Tomorrow's the due date.
Mm-hmm. Like 10 o'clock in the morning. So that's why I say, I mean,
You think people will come in on the back end and right for deadlines?
oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
guaranteed.
That's typical, yeah.
That's why I said I think you guys just figure out a price you want to spend
Yeah.
on it and put it in there and
Maximum.
see what happens. So,
Do we have any other large pieces of equipment that we might need to buy or repair?
Loader?
I mean, the loaders. Do you mean the old one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's at 5,200 right now.
Hmm?
It's at 5,200.
So it's went up since I got out of work.
Let's say take a chance on it.
What do you guys
Yeah,
think
why
for?
not?
Maybe not to exceed 25 total.
Well, there's a 10% buyer fee on that, so that's why I was figured if you put a 20,000 bid on it, and figure the buyer's fee would be 10%, so that'd be 2,000, and then I padded the shipping a little just in case the estimate's off by put 3,500. You'd have 25.5 in it.
Okay. Not to exceed, what, 30?
What's everybody's thoughts?
Let's say the loader,
Well, the
200,000.
new one's,
Yeah?
yeah. And
Yeah.
the new demo is what was it, 250?
240
240.
Where's the
for
money
brand
gonna
new-
come
or
from?
new demo.
equipment reserve.
Equipment reserve.
So is that a motion, Kale?
I'll move.
Moved by Justin not to exceed 30,000 total
Second.
out of equipment reserve paid out of cycle.
Yeah.
Okay, seconded by Kale, all in favor. There you go.
Good luck.
Get a hat.
Probably not.
Can you bid more than once?
You can.
Yeah, if you can watch it, climb up and bid more.
You
And
can. I just
We can bid
figured.
15.
do they have the 15-minute rule at the end of the auction?
Yes.
They do.
Can you call the guy and say, "Oh, let's just give you 20,000 for it, and we're done"?
No.
They want their
Take it off.
Yeah.
That's pretty explicit that you can't do that. So, okay, last night I got home just in time to go to work. Pretty much. Got home 6:30, was out at 10:30, and got done at 4:30 this morning. We had a power outage up behind the manor. So
What was it?
our power line, somehow they sagged down. I don't know if it was the wind while I was gone or what, but got into the fiber cable up there. They had sparks flying.
That's crazy.
We cut all the wire down, strung up new stuff that's all insulated, and so that's just information for you. So in case you hear it elsewhere, I will give you guys a heads up, something to think about. When we generated last time for Sunflower, I haven't got that third engine worked on yet because there again I want to talk to you guys about where exactly how much we want to spend. Because I can call somebody and say come out here, but most of them ain't going to come out here and then drive back and give us an estimate and then drive back out here. They want to fix it while they're here. So we need to know how much we want to spend on it and all that. But what I was saying was the last time we generated, over lunch hour we had to turn on both engines and we almost overheated. We were about to have to shut down, so we'd been in the dark. So our capacity along with our cooling is not prime anymore.
So you're talking two
So how
engines,
much?
two for the whole city? Or just for certain areas?
The whole city. But then, back when I started 28 years ago, you could run that one big engine all day, every day, and it would pull the whole town.
What do you think's wrong?
Air conditioning.
Load.
Everybody's building bigger and
Oh,
bigger.
no, I'm sorry. The big engine, what's wrong with it?
No, it was running.
Just
It was at its capacity and going over, so we had to start another engine.
Oh, I see.
So we're just running out of capacity, and then we were over. I mean, our cooling towers had a lot of leaks in it. We plugged lines and stuff, and so we don't have the cooling capacity we used to have. And then we installed that fancy fire alarm that sets off in heat, and it was hot that day, so I finally called the fire alarm company and said, "You need to ignore this until 5 o'clock tonight." So,
well, if it helps you, my AC wouldn't help, so I didn't turn the radio.
that's not good. But I'm just giving you guys a heads up that we may have to look, if you guys want backup generation, you may have to look at someday getting either Caterpillar or dumping a lot more money into the power plant.
So that third engine, what are you thinking?
I don't. We shut that water off because the water pump was bad, so I don't need the water pump put on it. And when the last time we turned the water back on, it was leaking all over, so the guy thinks that he'd have to go through all the seals, and price-wise, I don't have a price for you. I can call him and see what I can find out, see if he can get me a rough.
Yeah.
Give them a good price and a bad price.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give me the good buddy discount and not the good buddy discount.
Yeah. Yeah. And we don't want to be standing here in winter with no way to generate
Yeah.
if something major happens.
Well, them two will run, but of course our power plant's a standby only plant because we didn't put the catalytic converters on.
Right.
But
But
I know we are going to have to generate for Sunflower one more
if
time.
the big one doesn't start, then we're stuck with one little one. If we don't have the third one going.
If the big one doesn't start, we're SOL.
Yeah.
But I hope everybody has Generacs if we want the town to light up. I just read today, I didn't get it ran off, but WAPA allocation was decreased by approximately 1%. So, I don't know what that means yet. And other than that, I need 5 minutes executive session for non-elected personnel for employee status.
Any questions for Dan? Now, is there a motion to accept and file the superintendent
So
report?
moved.
Moved by Gail, second by Larry, all in favor? Attorney report.
I have reached back out to Larry Kleeman regarding the ordinances, and I haven't heard back from him. I was going to give him till the end of the month and then reach out again. So especially since the next council meeting is until about halfway into the month of October, I figured I'd give him till the end of September and see. But I did email him a couple weeks ago, and I haven't heard. So I don't know if he's trying to put it in final and get it to us, or what. But I was going to give him till the end of the month before I contacted him again.
Okay. Anything else?
I don't have anything else.
Your motion to accept and file the attorney report.
So moved.
Moved by Kale, second by Dara, all in favor? Clerk report.
I have nothing.
Okay.
So
Moved by Kale, second by Larry. All right, council comments, Bud.
I guess the only thing I got is I had several people come by and they liked what we did with the streets. So
Yeah.
that's better than having somebody come by and say, well, all the potholes.
Yeah. Kale,
nothing here.
Larry,
Same things about, I had several people comment about the street, so thanks
Dara?
to city
No.
guys for getting to it and so we get it done.
Dara, you said nothing?
I had nothing to
Okay. Justin?
Just what the ladies brought up earlier, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I have nothing, I guess. We have a motion to,
I do have one thing, I'm sorry. Down in front of Crave, where that drains right in front of there, and then it kind of goes uphill a little bit, do we have any options to get that to push all the way down the street?
I think you'd have to talk to Brock,
Okay.
see what, or an engineer. 'Cause, I mean, you can tell it's caught right there for years.
Yeah. There's a little bit of a crown right in there.
But I'm thinking you're gonna have to redesign the whole street, tear that whole side out, dig down, redo it.
That's it.
Put it on the concrete list?
What?
The concrete list?
Yep. It's a big one.
do we have a motion to go into executive session? Dan, who all do you want in here?
Whoever. I don't need you. If you don't want to stay,
Excuse me.
You want the motion?
you can stay or not.
I move that we go into executive session for purpose of non-elected personnel with Council Leanne and Dan for 5 minutes coming out at
Yeah.
9 Lauren.
8:07.
8:07.
Second.
Moved by Larry, second by Kale, all in favor? Okay. All right, we're out of executive session. No decisions were made. Do I hear a motion to go back into executive session for an additional 5? Moved by Kale,
Second.
second by Larry, all in favor? Motion passed. All right, we're out of executive session. No decisions were made. Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Moved by Kale, second by Larry.
You want a gavel?